God only gives you what you're ready for. And on the rare occasions he gives you something you're not ready for, you're going to regret it. Ask yourself, do you deserve millions of dollars? You know you don't deserve it, and God knows you don't deserve it. And if he gave it to you, it would be a punishment. There's nothing worse than giving a person who's not ready for money. You know, I wasn't even rich till I was 27. And I think back and I thank God I wasn't rich when I was young. Because if I got rich before 27, I wouldn't be strong like I am now. And that's worth more than being rich. And I wouldn't have the lessons that I say to you on all these emergency meetings. And that's worth more than being rich. I like all the lessons I had when I was poor, because I have the poor man's lessons and the rich man's money. So if God's decided you need some more of the poor man's lessons, then that is a blessing.
80% of people who hit the lottery go broke in 2 years because they are thrust into a lifestyle for which their life has not been built up to. So there they are with a Bill Gates wallet and a Joe Pools Hall mentality.
The universe is telling you there are lessons you need to learn. It's never smiles and rainbows. You do not get to wake up and scroll Twitter and make millions and smile. You have to wake up, do the right thing even though you don't feel like doing it, dedicate yourself, grind out brutal, terrible, hard labor. And if you do it the way you're supposed to do it, the lessons you will learn along the way makes money worth having. You see it all the time in Miami now, these crypto kids spending 300-400 grand on bottles in a night. Who cares? If you do manage to make a whole bunch of money, you need to invest in yourself. Because we don't give a shit about how much money you have. We care about the quality of your character as a man. That's what we care about.
We race to the finished product, but we don't have a great appreciation for the process. It is, in fact, the process itself that helps to teach you how to manage what has been given to you. Being born a baby and evolving to a toddler and ultimately going through adolescence is a part of your development that helps you to self-discover who you are. It is better to enter into a thing gradually. Real greatness must be incubated in isolation.
So ask yourself a question. If you were honest, do you want a 1% chance of making it today? Or do you want a 100% chance you're going to pull it off in 3 years? The intelligent people would say, well, 3 years of working, learning lessons along the way, plus a guaranteed success. I'll take the 3 years. But most of you, if offered that chance, you would take the instant gamble bet because you are so monumentally lazy that you would rather roll that dice, lose, and sit at home with no prospects, no hope, than dedicate yourself to something for a little while. The 3 years it will take you to get to the guaranteed success are not wasted. They are spent teaching you things you're going to need to know once you get there to be the man you're supposed to be anyway. Let me tell you a really universal thing that applies to all realms of life. And I just said about easy come, easy go, but that's what the crypto problem is. People are making money now so easily, they're losing scope of what money is. I grew up in a world where 10 grand got someone killed. Crypto's got it all messed up to the point now where people think 10 grand is absolutely nothing. The true wealth that you obtained from making money in the olden days were the lessons you learned as you made the money. You had to learn how to do taxes. You had to learn how to deal with the government. You had to learn how to sell to customers. You had to learn how to have staff, keep them motivated, how to sell. You would learn things. It's easy to win at anything if you're good at other things. I want to make you all feel better. If you're watching this and you didn't become a millionaire yesterday, I want to make you feel better. Because there are timelines in this multiverse where you caught that $1 million pump and you got in your car and you crashed. You could have caught that $1 million pump and somebody you love would have heard about it and got excited and tried to drive home a little bit quicker and crashed their car. And if you could then, with hindsight, be offered 2 timelines, do you want that pump with these scenarios, or do you want to ignore the pump and everyone be healthy? I know you're sitting to think, but Tate always says work, lock in. I do. But you are making a deadly mistake with this asinine conflation between perma-loss and getting wrecked and work. So this terrible FOMO, this chasing shiny objects to imagine this perfect world where you pulled off this free money from the sky that you didn't even work for. You need to get that out of your head. That negative emotion that you feel, that sadness that you feel, that should have you in the gym training harder than you've ever trained. If God decided you didn't need to catch that pump right now, then his plan for you is for you to dedicate yourself and rain dance until you eventually catch the pump when you deserve it. Taking the L on your chin like a man and saying, yeah, I didn't deserve that money yet. As you get older, you get to look back and you get to put your whole story together, the whole tapestry together. I knew I wouldn't stay poor. Did I ever think I'd get this rich? But did I ever think it would probably happen at this level? No. But it's amazing how the compounding interest of just endless raw action adds up. But I really believe God's given me one of the best lives, and I can't complain about anything bad that's happened. It's all been fantastic. I'm truly thankful for all of it. Thank you, God, for that difficult time. I think if a couple bad things happen to you, you should be intelligent enough to realize that eventually you're going to get over it and you're going to learn an important lesson. It's going to change you in the correct direction. And Allah's the best of planners, and he knows what you need to learn. I think that as humans, especially as men, we only learn the hard way anyway. There's no easy way to learn a lesson. You have to learn the hard way. So God gives us lessons via difficulty. He thinks you need to learn this about yourself or this about other people. So I'm going to give you a difficult time so you can learn your lesson. Because if I told you, if I just said, hey, Andrew, this is how the world works, you go, yeah. But when I show you, when you feel it, my fight coach used to say, you have to feel it to believe it. He was teaching low kicks. He'd kick your leg off because you don't believe in the power of a low kick. You don't believe a low kick can be so devastating unless you felt it. You have to feel it to believe it. So God will give you a difficult time so you learn your lessons. And the lessons are very important for you to be the person who you need to be in this life. He's the best of planners. And I'm thankful for all the lessons he's given me. He's bestowed knowledge upon me. How could I not be grateful to God for making me so intelligent and wise and the ability to look into things so deeply and come up to the right decision and basically predict the future perfectly? How did I know how the world works? You have to have difficulty happening to you all the time. So when you sit and say, I want an easy life, what you're saying is you're a dummy and you want to be a dummy. You want to stay a dummy. I want an easy life. And I don't want anything bad to happen to me because even though it will teach me lessons, I'm too big of I can't handle the emotional pain. I can't handle the stress. So you want to stay a dumbass. I don't want to be a dummy. I want to be smart. If I want to be smart, then hurt me. All of the wisdom I have, all of this knowledge I speak, all of these things I say have been learned through basically difficulty of life, through professional fighting and being poor and all bad things happening to me and struggle. All of my lessons have been bad things, bad events, bad scenarios, bad situations, pain, suffering, anger, resentment. All of these horrible emotions are how I've learned everything. So I thank God for giving them to me. And anyone who wants an easy life wants to stay a dummy. What do you learn if you just get money, you buy a crypto coin, it blows up, you get some money, you sleep with some girls, you go to some restaurants? What do you learn about anything? When bad things happen to me, I just kind of enjoy it. Perhaps my whole life is not about trying to find comfort, it's trying to find challenges, and it's trying to find stories. Once you understand all of the bad things and good things that come into your life are a perfect plan from God himself, you're going to be a lot less affected by the bad things. If something bad happens to you, it's part of God's plan. He knows what he's doing. In the end, you're going to be happy it happened. I often ask people, is there anything bad that's happened to you in the past at the time you were distraught about that you now wish didn't even happen? And truthfully, you're like, no, I'm kind of glad it all happened because of. So if you understand you're always going to get there eventually, why be upset about it now, right? If you know in a year from now you'll be glad it happened, why be upset about it happening now? You have to be cerebral enough about things.
Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for, because the process is necessary. You may not see it now, but when he gets you on the other side of it, you're going to see exactly why it went that way, and you're going to be okay with it.
This is the problem. To those of you that are building and believing and really feel the pull of destiny, you need to be patient with the process and not enthralled with the promise.
Oh, Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Pull yourself together and quit tripping because you in the process.
Could it be possible that your life is stagnated because you have an attention deficit? You didn't give the attention to it that it takes to win it. Listen at this. It's not just that people step over you when you're in that acorn stage. Sometimes you step over you because you're so busy trying to compete with the trees that you haven't gone through the process of the acorn. Give it some time. Give it some water. Give it some focus. Until you can clap for the seedling, you will never see the tree. Until you can appreciate the process, you will never get to the problem. But until you learn how to appreciate where you are in the process, you won't get the power to evolve to your ultimate destiny. You're in love with tomorrow, but you're neglecting today. And when God sees you neglecting today, he will not give you tomorrow. So you need to take your eye off of the tree and water what you got now.
I think that a lot of people don't understand that it's all of the challenges and struggles that's going to make them, it's either going to make or break them. I was sent a study about stress from somebody. It's probably the best study I ever read. And it's talked about the placebo effect of stress. And it said that they took some of the most stressed people in the world, CEOs, etc. And the ones who believed that stress was really bad for them were dying earlier because of the cortisol inside of their blood. And they said stress was really bad for them, they were having heart attacks. But the ones who believed that stress was good for them and it made them perform, I perform under pressure, stress is good for me, they were living longer. So the same drug inside of their blood, how they framed it inside of their mind had different effects on their body. So from that point onwards, even though I already thought this way, I knew it was the right way to think innately because I've done pretty good in life that way. But this confirmed it. Every time I feel stressed or under pressure, I get excited. It's how you look at the problems and how you use them to fuel you. What's the problem for the average man today? What's the biggest problem? I think there's a whole host of problems. But what you have to do is frame it inside of your mind and understand that all of those problems are going to allow you, give you the fuel, the unlimited motivation that you need to become a successful and beautiful individual if you frame it in the right way. If you take a man and give him a life shielded from problems and he never has any to face, I guarantee you he's terrible at being a man. So the best thing you can do as a man is look and go, okay, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard. I feel negative because these are all so difficult. I'm struggling with X, Y, Z. Let me internalize all of that and turn it into a superpower. Let me become genuinely uncomfortable with my situation in life and go and fix things. Because like I said, the universe is absolutely and utterly very giving. And if you truly hated being in the position you were in, you wouldn't be there very long. I think that the number one problem with the world today and the biggest problem that men face isn't the problems themselves. It's just the way that they've been taught to mentally frame issues. People think when bad things happen to them that somehow they're a victim to the universe and bad things only happen to me and this is so terrible. They don't understand that bad things happen to everybody, and the most successful person you know had all those, probably, maybe even worse. At least the same bad things happened to them. They just framed it differently and used it. So I don't pray for an easy life.
As a man, 99% of the time, you're going to be stressed or annoyed about something that's just happened, currently happening, or about to happen. That's life. We live constantly anxious. We have a lot of things to do. And you either suffer the consequence of the stress it requires to be a somebody, or you suffer the consequence of having no stress because you're a fucking nobody and you work in Starbucks and then you're a no one. There's no escape the eternal suffering of man. So many men say to me, oh, how I don't feel happy. I'm like, so? You think I'm happy? 7 criminal convictions. I got nearly $1 billion. I'm still stressed. I got criminal convictions, work to do. I was up at 6 a.m. I got to go here. I got to go there. I've got to train. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. At what point do you think you've earned the right to wake up as a man and feel happy? Losers have this problem with temporary motivation. A loser will come and say, I really want to change my life. I can't live like this anymore. And they'll mean what they say for about 2 days. And then they're happy to go back to being a loser again. You know, they really want it Monday to Friday, but on the weekend, they're happy to go back to how they were. And that's why they never escape. They never get the terminal velocity required to break free from the atmosphere of mediocrity. I'm conditioned to win, but I'm not going to lie and pretend that that mindset means I live stress-free. In fact, I would argue that I adopt endless stress all of the time because I'm looking for problems to solve, because I'm looking for money to make. I'm looking to win.
There's nothing more beautiful than absolute accountability as a man. Absolute accountability for all things, both the good and the bad, to blame absolutely everything on themselves. I promise you, If you stop making excuses, you stop waiting and praying for some kind of better future, and you wake up every day and say, all of the good in my life is my fault, and all of the bad in my life is my fault, and I'm the only one who can fix this. It's never going to get better by itself. It's never going to be easy. I have to win by force. I must force myself and my mind to brutally perform. There is a degree of comfort that comes when you understand that the power is within your own hands.